He was pushed. It was a bad day. Douchebags at work said he had a case of the Mondays. Fuck those people. He's not that damn fat cat that likes lasagna. Although he does like that version of the cartoon, minus the cat that explores the pain of one man's lonely existence. It is so painful that you laugh at the sheer absurdity and sadness. He remembers his favorite show from that comedian who is sad and complains about his life with his ex-wife and 2 daughters. It is the funniest show he has ever seen, but he usually only laughs after a scene is over rather than during. It is humorous after the fact. It only causes psychic pain as it happens. He was so angry that he was yelling at a homeless man in the subway. The homeless guy was annoying him with questions about change and a cigarette. He has neither, doesn't smoke, uses only credit cards. His day was going so bad that he just started shouting. Then the hobo pushed him onto the tracks. He's been trying to crawl out, needing help, but mostly he's noticed that people are filming him with their phones. A few screams, and one guy is trying to pull him out. Now a train is coming. He won't make it. Jeez.
Stop! 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 Stop!
Sugar, I make you weep and cry. Sugar, you want me back in your life. I sweeten your days and ruin your nights. You hate me on your glucose high. I get in your veins and dilute your control. I fatten you up and take over your brain. I get inside you and corrupt your soul. I bring you some joy and remove all your pain. Sugar, I make you weep and cry. Sugar, you want me back in your life. I sweeten your days and ruin your nights. You hate me on your glucose high. You use me to calm your mind and nerves. Gain more weight and a double chin. You wanna cast off those pounds and curves, but you know you can't redeem our original sin. Sugar, I make you weep and cry. Sugar, you want me back in your life. I sweeten your days and ruin your nights. You hate me on your glucose high. You try to get away, you will never let me stay. You decide to get off me. You give up your burnt coffee. Then your shakes and headaches get in the way. The drugstore brings you back to me. Oh, sugar, I make you weep and cry. Oh, sugar, you want me back in my life. I sweeten your days and ruin your nights. You love me on your glucose high. He steps out into the street, lowering himself slowly down the inches from the sidewalk. The wind in his face chills his mind. How cold is it? I forgot to check the weather. His phone is not smart. He cannot check it now. It's dumb. The cold reminds him of another time when his sister lost her cool in front of everyone that mattered. I've never understood why. She could never handle crowds, people in groups, their eyes locked on her, waiting for her to crack. She complained bitterly of those times. I never liked our friends, their friends, or really, I didn't, our aunts and uncles. Our cousins were okay, but how can you spend all those moments with no organisms? They know too much. Your former height, your hair color as a toddler, your sadness, your diseases and your eases. They want to know your present, as if knowledge of the past makes them eligible for and deserving of the secrets of my life. She cracked, as they say. Who are they? The yelling was unbearable. She manages a shriek so piercing that only dogs could hear it. A whistle, in a way. The confusion on their faces is funny. Some smirk, others back away slowly, a giggle in discomfort. They wait until she's finished. The pitch arrives in our hearing range, no longer ultrasound without noticing. Everyone is focused on the visual. This event is not remarkable. These people know her too well. She's their friend, after all, so they think. What is remarkable is the steam coming from her mouth as she wails like a tea kettle, maybe even a locomotive, because everyone, including her, wants to get out now, get off at a different stop. Is it her or she? I don't like word forms that agree. Words should disagree. Adverbs are our enemies, mostly. Or is that holy? Maybe I should say fully to not confuse it with holy as in God or holy as in cheese. Kind of. Does that count? Why not? Adverbs lie or lee, hedge, confuse, distinguish, and keep us from saying blunt things. I hate you, mostly. I love you, kind of. That's better than always. I'll love you always. That's a lie. For most, that is. Mostly. The activity of the air is so slow. The moisture in her open mouth turns to steam on contact. A dragon of distress and resentment. She told me later, years later, that she was tired of the questions such as, what happened to the last one? How are you going to find one that way? Would you like me to set you up? Do you know my friend's son, Marty? As if the main point of her existence is to cohabitate with some dude who won't clean up after himself. Leave hair in the drain, not replace the toilet paper, treat his dog with greater kindness, spend more time with his douchebag friends who have never grown past 14. Really 12. You're never going to find a man. Don't you want kids? You know that your eggs are a one-time only thing. Women over the age of 30 have a much lower ability to get pregnant, and fertility treatments are expensive. They wiped out my bank account. But now I couldn't live without the triplets, Billy, Aiden, and Corey. I love those boys too, but let me live my life, damn it. They have never understood my career. It took 8 years to get that PhD, and I'm gonna use it whether you like it or not. Not that she actually says these things at the time. She has been too well trained at treating others with respect. Her answers are usually monosyllabic. Yes, no, an occasional uh-huh. Her answer gleeful when she gives this 2-syllable reply. Uh-huh. It's golden to their ears. Uh-huh. She recognizes our existence long enough to emit a glottal. Huh? Her complaints are solid, he thinks. They treat her as someone meant to only spread more insert last names. She has always wanted to be a mother, but her interest in the ocean was greater. Sea life, whales, porpoises, manatees, sharks. She has always been fascinated by sharks. Her love of John Williams, that half-step repeated, Richard Dreyfuss, and that speech on the boat of which they need a bigger one, Chief. That movie began it all. But she rooted for the shark. It was so beautiful. Sharks are misunderstood, and it is her mission to educate the public. Who are they? On the real lives of sharks. Her focus on sharks and her friends and family, the sharks, who ask about her biological future rather than her professional future. The sea occupies her every waking moment. In the shower, eating breakfast, at work, reading at home, during parties. Like this one that causes her soundless aria and visual spectacle. As his foot hits the pavement, his mind returns to the present. A man died. Lost his life on the street corner up ahead. In this major city, a place where everyone is in everyone else's filth, a man dies because of his skin. The police are afraid. They treat him like a criminal without considering his humanity, his family, his children. That's why he was there. This is how he made money to feed them. Money isn't easy to come by here, the richest city in the world. So he had to work in a way outside commercial regulations. The need for bread outweighs bureaucracy every day. And he died for it. So I've stepped on the street today to join the others. I join the protests. I can breathe, and so still should he.